couple big things that come out in 15, that the ACI, the active concave isolation, our take rate the first year wasn't the best. I think guys were just leery of it. Now I believe every combine going forward in 16 and 17 will have it. We won't order any in without it. Correct, Ben?
Correct.
Yeah. One thing that our take rate isn't very good on is the hydraulic fore and aft tilt, and I'm actually going to dwell on this and talk about why it's so important when we're running our flex draper headers. But 15 we had 1 combine. This year I think we had 4 or 5 combines. Next year we haven't had very many again. I think it's kind of a $3,000 option, maybe something like that. And I just wish everybody, I wish it was standard equipment. I wish John Deere wouldn't even give us an option, to be honest.
For 2016, all the combines that went out from our store had the active concave isolation. The only variation was John Snethen's 6 units. Still have the tri-stream rotor, but the active concave.
He has the active concave, but the standard separator grades. What else was the big thing in 15 that right across the board now for 15, 16? The feeder house, the 4-strand feeder house, the smaller drum, the 8-inch drum. When you order the small tough grains package, you get the full travel front drum, gives you an extra 2 inches. We're just doing up getting some info from South Country down south. We talked about this at Expo with some guys. South Country rigged up 2 combines, a 680 and a 690, 2014s. So they didn't have the new feeder house, didn't have the front drum. So in the 2014 680, 690, they put the 4-strand feeder house in, feeder chain, smaller drum, new mid-floor, new top shaft sprockets, and they said they saw a 25% increase in capacity between a 14 without it and a 14 with it. And it didn't necessarily say they traveled 25% faster, they just traveled consistent. And I can attest to that when you're doing tough swath conditions or any sort of condition, especially in canola, the difference between a 14 and a 15 with the new feeder house is easily 20%. So the cost on that I think is going to be almost prohibitive, but I did a price breakdown the other day just through parts, and it was somewhere like 20 grand, but that was changing basically the whole feeder house. I don't think we have to do that. I think it's something we could get to, honestly, get down to $7,000 or $8,000, especially if there's damage there, and we can switch over to a 4-strand with a smaller drum and stuff like that. Might be something we can look at going down the road.
What was that bulletin thing that came out talking about the turning the feeder chain around? I think it's for the 17th, 27th. Or how they turn the bars around?
Like the slats around?
Yeah. So they're
Never saw it.
leading with the smooth edge instead of the straight edge.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've heard of doing that for like edible beans and stuff, but no. Have you guys heard about that at all? Anybody heard about that?
Also, John Deere, something like that.
Really? Look at that. Didn't hear about that. So what's it supposed to do?
Something service trade.
What's it supposed to do? Do you know, Ben? Or Dallas?
It was very vague,
Okay.
like 2 sentences, and then that was all that was in
I
there.
think it might be for beans.
One of our customers looked at turning his 14 over to a 50. We didn't exactly know what we're doing, but you're right, it was well up over 20 grand.
Yeah.
Unless we
Yeah.
missed something.
Yeah, I had something over 20 grand, but I know South Country down there, they did 2 of them, and it almost sounded like they didn't have to change quite as much as the parts book shows. Like, you know, the main feeder house didn't have to be changed. Obviously, you got to do the drum and the shaft and the sprockets and the chain, but in the mid floor. But other than that, I think you can get away with. Anyways, we'll look into it a little bit more. It's just something. Maybe it's an option for guys going down the road. But they said they thought it was very beneficial. Another big thing that come out when we have ACI, what is it that we're having issues with, especially in tough harvest conditions? Right behind the concaves, what are we having trouble with? Separator grates, right? So when you order the tough small grains package, which gives you the ACI, we get heavy duty separator grates. We're going to talk about that more in Rick's, that we should be at least offering to our customers when they come in with a standard grate that's broken out. 9 times out of 10, it's the front of the 4 separator grates that's broke out. We should be offering a heavy duty option.
Is that just foreign material doing that?
No, not foreign material, just heavy, tough material. Generally, before this year, well, it still is because of it, guys that are running their concaves too far open. Guys running their concaves in tough canola, it's tough going through, so what do? They open up their concave.
And it rolls a ball in there?
Rolls a ball, it just doesn't break it up enough, and all the force is on the separator grates, right? To be honest, when you get into tough conditions, you should, believe it or not, you guys are gonna think I'm silly, but you should tighten up your concave, it'll go through better. Because it doesn't roll up like you say, it actually goes through like it's supposed to. Like when I got into tough canola this year, dry canola, I'd run my concave at 30, 28 to 30 type deal. I get into tough canola, I ran it like at 15 to 16. You don't see much of a difference going through, it just goes through a lot better and cleaner. You don't get that, when you get too much gap in there, like when you get setting a 30 on your concave, you get a gap in there like probably 1.5 inches, and that stuff doesn't go through, it'll start stopping in there and balling up, and like you say, it balls up and it causes lots of trouble. You tighten that up and make that stuff go through the way it's supposed to and spiral through, it goes through much better. This is just some info in your packet on the ACI. I think everybody knows what it is. We had some issues with it this year with some sensors. One was a sensor problem, one was a valve problem. I think our biggest issue we had was operator problem. And we'll solve that internally, so. Now we're getting into 2016. We're going to talk about the changes that come about in 2016. What's the biggest change you guys remember that come in 2016? So this is on our demo combine we ran this year. What was our biggest change? Oh, that's going to be a good question then. I'll have to add that to my test. Turn off that light a little bit, Ben, please.
Your harvest season is simply too valuable to accept yesterday's benchmark. It's about setting new standards and maximizing potential today. To do so, you need the latest in grain harvesting performance. Look no further than the impressively new 2016 S-Series Combine from John Deere. We've upgraded productivity in just about every way imaginable, so you can harvest your full potential. Upgrades that enable greater shoe capacity.
And it's a hint, it's not the folding corn header.
Enhanced header
I'm
line.
ordering you one of those.
And
Rob.
smarter solutions both in the cab and out. When you consider
Maybe
the total
25%
top to
off.
bottom advancements we've made to the S-Series, well, there just isn't another option worth considering. It starts with the 612 FC folding corn head. Available in Stalkmaster or non-Stalkmaster units, the 612 FC folding capability improves harvest readiness, as in ready to raise your acres harvested by 30 acres per day, while reducing your overall operation costs, from fuel right down to labor. And ready to fold at a moment's notice, which improves harvest performance by 6 acres per day. What's more, you can fold and go without ever leaving the cab, so you can move from field to field more quickly and easily. Even better, the 612 FC is built for large fields and rough conditions. High-yielding corn? You bet. Robust hybrids? Even better. Tough green stalks? No problem. That's because the 612 FC is equipped with all the same high-performance features found on our other 600C series that are known in the market for being productive and dependable. For bean and wheat growers, we haven't forgotten about you. There's significant improvements to our HydraFlex draper platforms as well. In fact, make that 3 new HydraFlex drapers. Introducing the new advanced line of John Deere HydraFlex drapers, the 630, 635, and 640 FD headers. Following the launch of last season's widely popular 645,
Last chance, what's the biggest improvement, change we've made on our S-Series 2016s?
Sieves,
Tilt hitter?
the bottom sieves.
design.
New shoe system.
Our entire family of HydraFlex drapers now offers some of the most productive features you'll find in the business. A wider feed section with faster center belt drive speed to handle higher volumes of crop. Shorter end dividers to reduce grain loss and crop knockdown. Stronger reel fingers to better handle harsh crop conditions, such as down crop. And improved wear life on the reel finger support tube bearings to keep your draper out of the shop and keep you in the field. But new header options are only the beginning.
Right here.
Even greater production lies before you, or should we say beneath you. That's where you'll find the new DynaFlow Plus cleaning shoe in the S-Series Combine. Lighter in weight and longer in sieve, the DynaFlow Plus cleaning shoe reduces tailings volume by as much as 28% to raise overall speed and productivity. Plus, in shoe-limited conditions, combine capacity jumps to 10% in corn and 13% in wheat and canola. Time is money, and the additional capacity of 1.5 acres per hour gives you more of it to tackle your fall tillage or to harvest more acres. Add all that up and what you get is pure profit out of your field and into your ledger. If that's not enough, meet our next high-performance innovation, active terrain adjustment. Now, if you have rolling terrain or contours on your land, you might want to pay close attention. With active terrain adjustment, your cleaning shoe settings automatically adjust to the landscape changes, all without pressing a single button. How? Glad you asked. As you see on inclines, active terrain adjustment opens both the chaffer and sieve while reducing fan speed to keep grain from going out the rear. And on declines, the chaffer and sieve close while fan speed increases to keep grain from pushing toward the front of the machine. So whether you're going uphill or downhill, the combine will maintain ground speed and, just as crucial, minimize grain loss on varying degrees of slope. Here's the kicker. It increases total combine capacity on uphill slopes to drastically reduce grain loss while also reducing your tailings. This allows you to take your harvest to all new heights, because when traveling downhill, the greater the slope, the greater the reduction in foreign material. Since it automatically adjusts, it's less energy you spend to get your combine working at peak performance. So you can have peace of mind knowing your combine isn't just performing as you expect, it's actually performing better. And if you enjoy smooth performance, get a good look at our new LSW drive and steer tires. They offer a similar benefit solution as a track machine. That means superior traction and flotation when harvesting in soft, wet soil conditions. Not to mention, it greatly reduces compaction and stubble damage to the tire. Equally important, they allow you to maintain transport speed without tire hop. Now, before you take your combine back to the machine shed, take a quick minute to shine it up with a convenient new onboard air compressor, so your combine is in mint condition for the next job. After all, uptime is also about upkeep, and the onboard air compressor comes in handy for that. Of course, tied into these many great new S-Series features are our John Deere Farm Site Solutions and services, linking your combine, your dealer, your advisors, and our suite of technology together to connect you more easily and help you reach the full potential of your harvest. Technology like JD Link Connect, offering features that can take your uptime up a notch. Such as wireless data transfer that lets you send important files quickly, easily, and securely straight to your My John Deere Operations Center. Then there's remote display access, which allows the farm manager or dealer to remotely view settings on the GreenStar 32630 display. This ensures that combine settings are correct for the given field conditions. Trust us, this is very helpful when you have less experienced operators. And as grain harvesting continues to evolve, so do the tools you use to allow you to get more out of each season. Tools like Harvest Mobile, our newest way of placing efficiency in the palm of your hands. And operating it is simple. Using an iPad with Harvest Mobile from the cab of your Final Tier 4 S-Series Combine, you can now dedicate your Green Star display to focus on showing key machine information, while the tablet provides more in-depth info on field performance by visualizing robust mapping layers like ground speed, wet and dry yield, and average moisture. Harvest Mobile also delivers machine settings at a glance that include rotor speed, fan speed, threshing clearance, chaffer opening, and sieve opening. Oh, there's one other thing Harvest Mobile allows you to do direct from your tablet. It lets you view and adjust our industry-exclusive ICA feature. Haven't heard of it? Then you're missing out. ICA, or Interactive Combine Adjustment, straightens out the learning curve of optimizing a combine for you, your labor, or the up-and-coming farmer in your family who looks to carry your legacy into the next generation. ICA simplifies machine controls, helping the operator go from novice to know-it-all in far less time, and assisting you to make your overall operation more successful. But there's even more profit-generating solutions in store. Along with our complement of machine sync features, including combine harvest automation and harvest logistics, come two all-new functionalities that show the true value of machine-to-machine communication. Announcing Coverage Map and Guidance Line Sharing. Coverage Map sharing, when paired with overlap control, allows you to see where another machine has already been. So if you have multiple John Deere combines harvesting in the field, you now get a more accurate calculation of your yield and acreage totals. That means visibility to passes, header width, acres covered, and best of all, it's information you can count on. Want more productivity? Check out Guidance Line Sharing. With this new feature, spend less time punching in your guidance line coordinates to get multiple combines lined on your AB line. Bottom line, thanks to Coverage Map and Guidance Line Sharing, you'll enjoy more accurate data than ever before. And with these new enhancements, Machine Sync is sure to increase the performance of your overall harvest operation. In total, with the vast range of new features and new solutions, the S-Series Combine is sure to make your business more efficient, more productive, more profitable. That's John Deere Harvesting. And in 2016, be on the lookout for our next groundbreaking feature, Active Yield, which will offer a high level of yield accuracy with automated calibration. Now that's something every producer can get excited about. Just visit your local dealer today to learn about the new, exciting, efficient solutions that make the S-Series Combine, simply put, the only combine worth owning. Nothing.
So, the last part of that, well, okay, so let's talk about the shoe. We're gonna talk about that actually, right here. Just hang on this. Last part of that, we talked about, kind of our telematics or JD Link, all that sort of stuff. We really don't use it lots, optimize it. To be honest, John Deere going forward is making big changes with that. Maddie's gonna talk about it. Whether you like it or not, we are gonna use it in every department going forward. Our parts counter is gonna use our JD Link. Service is gonna use it big time. Sales is gonna use it. Sales uses it a little bit. My job is gonna use it lots. Maddie's gonna talk about that a little bit more. Deere is coming out with a big change going forward with that, with our used machines. Now with our 2017s, we get 5-year JD Link on it. So I'll let Maddie talk about that a little bit. But whether you agree with it or not, or like it, it's part of it. So active yield, they talked about that. That's supposed to be coming in another year or two for us here. I think next year for corn. All it is some sensors in the grain tank that allow you to do ongoing calibration. So this is actually what they look like. And apparently it's supposed to help us out with our yield. To be honest, my 2016 demo I used this year, I had zero trouble with my yield on it. We would calibrate it, and it stayed pretty damn consistent the whole year. I recalibrated every field we went into just because it's different grain, but it stayed pretty consistent.
This active yield that they show there's not coming to 2018.
Yeah.
What's the point of it?
What's the point of it?
Yeah.
On the go calibration, yield calibration. So you build accurate yield maps.
You wouldn't need the secondary source to verify your initial weight then.
You say you would?
Wouldn't.
Probably not. I'm not sure how it's going to work, Ben. I don't know. Yeah. I do know that every time you unload your hopper and you get it below, I think 5% off your data there, it will do a recalibration. So then as you're filling up the next time, it's actually calibrating with those weigh sensors. They've got logarithms built for the way the grain falls on it, the weight and all that sort of stuff. And it's a lot easier to predict those logarithms, or build those logarithms and predict the shape and size of a pile in corn and soybeans than it is in small grains. That's why they're a little bit longer coming in small grains, is the way they explained it to us in Expo. So, a couple enhancements here before we get into the new shoe. That slide's a little bit out of place, but on the reels in 2016 going forward, we have new reel teeth is all that really shows us. And an increased center feed slip clutch. That's on the D headers. Another thing is the slug removal feature. Anybody that ran a 2016 this year would have saw it lots this year, probably when you're reversing. Anybody use it and see it, what it did, how to overcome it? What it is if your front end stops, your slip clutch goes, you shut off your header, you reverse it, so it'll reverse everything out, and you speed up your engine, hit your feeder house and forward to spit it through, and just the auger will turn. Your belts, your pickup belts, will stay stationary. So you can clean out where your auger is, you can clean it through, and it's got a 30-second delay on the belts. Everybody's going to say, well, that's too long. All you have to do is hit your up and down button, and your belts will slowly start on, so it feeds it in slowly. So what it does when you pick a pile of canola apart, reverse it out, and it's all laying there on your table and on your pickup belts, before when you kicked it in the ass to spit it on through, it all come at you at once. Now you can put it through in pieces. So, and if a farmer wants that default setting changed from 30 seconds, I can go in and change an address. It's anywhere from 0 to 99 seconds, but all you have to do is it'll tell you when the system is activated, and it'll tell you to just lift your header up or down, and the belts will come on. So we'll just leave the default at 30 seconds.
Will I do that with any 615 on that 16 combine? Or is it the 615
Yeah,
specific?
I'd say it's probably something to do with the combine, not the header. Yeah. Not 100% sure there, but I'm thinking it's on the combine side of it.
The auger is what, PTO driven,
That's right.
and the belts are
Hydraulic.
so then that would be combined.
Yeah, it'd be combine. Yeah. Might not seem like much to you, but actually it's a very nice feature. So, yeah. The big thing on the 16 is the Dynaflow Plus cleaning shoe. It's lighter weight. It only has, what do they call it? Flywheel. It only has one flywheel. So immediately you can tell between a 2015 and older combine to a 2016 is if you go look on the left-hand side where the toolbox is. On the 15s and older, they'll have a big pulley there. It's a big flywheel for the shoe. On the 16, we only have one flywheel, and that's over on the right-hand side. So if you guys are ever walking around the lot and want to know the difference between a 15 and a 16, it's staring at you right in the face. So, the biggest thing with that is you get 12% more sieve area. That's your bottom sieve. That's your bottom cleaning sieve. I'm going to show this video a little bit. I'm going to skip through to where
True performance.
there's that flywheel I'm talking about. That's only on the right-hand
Savings
side.
volume is 50%. Small grain cleaning adjustment is a new optional feature that increases combine capacity in hilly terrain. Fan, chaffer, and sieve cleaning fan down from the factory for increased performance in small corn and side that increases combines volume is minimized. Flow Plus Clean Shoe has increased the sieve area 12%.
Okay. So follow my pointer there. So in 2012 or 11, I guess 12, our S series come out. They come out with a longer chaffer. So the chaffer is your top sieve. Everybody calls it a top sieve, or it's actually called the chaffer. So what they did was they come out with a top chaffer that was longer. So they increased it from about this point out to this point. Okay? They thought that's going to give us more cleaning area. Well, it did give us theoretically more chaffer area. Problem is, from this point, your bottom sieve ends here. Okay? So from this point out, there's a dozen louvers or so. Whatever falls through there went straight down into your tailings. It had no chance. That clean grain that fell through there had no chance to go into your clean grain because it was already past your sieve, your bottom sieve. So in 2016, what they've
The
done,
Dynaflow Plus Clean Shoe has increased the sieve area 12% and decreased weight from a unit.
they've increased that. So everything that goes through your top chaffer now has a chance to go onto your bottom sieve and into your clean grain. So they talk about decreased tailings volume by 28% and increased capacity by 13% in tailing load overload tailings conditions, and it's at least that. Like Brad had a 13 or 14 out in heavy barley this year, which has the older style shoe, obviously. He was in shoe limited conditions, so we were driving it by the tailings load. What were we going? Maybe 2.6, 2.7 mile an hour. We were in a combine a field with a yellow combine where they were probably going 3.3, 3.4, 3.5. We could push it through. Our tailings, our back end wouldn't handle it. I was just a couple miles away with our 2016. We were done our demo at Badger's there, and we took it over there for an hour or two, whatever it was, and significant difference. I think we were probably right neck and neck with the yellow ones. And yellow combine is designed for dry, high yielding barley. So easily there was a 20% increase in that shoe limited condition in the conditions we were in there. Would you agree? Yeah. Big difference. It's a big change. So any questions on that? Also with that, I'm not going to touch on it too much, come the active terrain adjustment. We have 3 combines in our fleet that has it. It was my demo combine and 2 of Usaby's. I was in hilly enough conditions maybe 3 times this year for it to activate and work. Works awesome. Limits your tailings load. So what happens when you're going, you farmers in the room, what happens when you're going uphill with your shoe situation and your tailings load? When you're going uphill, what generally happens?
Gravity takes over.
Gravity takes over and you get increased tailings load. Okay, so you're having to slow down, so your tailings going back to your to get rethreshed is in an overload condition. So this This system here, when you're going uphill, will slow your fan down and it'll open up your chaffer and sieve. And you can determine how much they open up. It's to eliminate or lower your tailings load is what it is. Okay? And if you're going downhill, it'll speed up your fan and it'll close down your louvers. It's very adjustable. This front screen here telling me here now that the fan, it's decreased a bit at 3-degree pitch. You can adjust that all there. I ended up having to turn my sensitivity up a couple notches to get it to activate anything below like 5 or 6 degrees. But I dare say Husenby's probably never saw this thing work because they wouldn't have been in any conditions that would have turned it on.
They bought it for resale.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So the functionality of it worked awesome. The results I saw just by my tailings load were definitely significant. We did not have it in hills long enough to do any pan tests or anything like that, so I can't give you any real data on it. Okay, any questions on the 15s and 16s? Everybody knows them right off the back of your hand, right? Hey? Leo? Yeah, that's good, Leo. So now we can dive into the 17s and all the major changes we got coming forward. 17. Bluetooth and foot pegs.
Want to take a coffee break?
I would love to. Yeah, sure. It's after 7 or 7 after 10. So 20 after, 25 after, reconvene. Please.
So I talked to Scott yesterday about the check for you guys. There's hunt money for 4-wheel drive new sales in beer. Across the board, doesn't matter if you take
For Crossland,
unique scenario.
the combines.
Just do
The S650 combine boasts 295 horsepower, while the S660 combine has 333 horsepower, and the largest 9-liter combine.
Orders. So basically, if you're working on 4-wheel drive, 2-track, or 4-track, keep it low. You keep your money. Not check. But that's what I know. If you can envision a home for that age 9410 Hunter, it'll be a bowl of the cash.
There'll be somebody out there.
Yeah.
Raj, you? How are things?
Really? That's good.
Just about to tell me there's something for
Within Central Alberta.
Yeah.
Nothing for 2 weeks now, though.
Yeah, nice break. Especially
Jay Fenton got another 1870. 16 of poplars.
Pardon?
Jay Fett bought poplars.
Well, we had sprayers.
Jay Fett bought 2016 poplars.
It took us, like, when it was colder.
So he's gonna run his
plug it
two.
in for like,
He's gonna run two?
oh, he's probably sitting for 4 hours, so we can get it started to install the truck.
Good it is, isn't
The trucker's sitting in the shop eating lunch. Got in that argument with Mardo.
One's at.
That was pretty entertaining, 'cause this guy, you know Tyler, in our shop? Tyler, the trucker was bigger than him, and Mardo got in a fight with him. We're just like, oh my god, I hope he got punched out.
Well, they should be interested because they're hydraulic.
So he's trying, Mardo was trying to tell him that Volvos were not good trucks. That's the only thing that trucker drove, and then
Why would he do that?
I don't
It's
know.
like saying your wife is ugly.
No, they
Way
were
to
just
go, Mardo.
like bickering and arguing back and forth, and then finally the trucker just goes back to his truck, sits in the cab.
That's like the great Chev Dodge Ford debate.
So they do.
They always argue about it. Lindsay, what's the best one? I'm like, Nissan. Who cares? I couldn't care less. Please, go in the back and talk. I can't hear you.
Yeah,
Actually, because that one,
I'm gonna catch tomorrow.
but we thought it was pretty funny
because
because
that one,
Tyler's
had
a
more
big
acres
guy,
on
and
it.
his trucker was
Their
bigger.
third openers were done just like partway through the season.
He doesn't know nothing.
That are, they sort of pull them out and say, you can do it forward because they're doing the work, right? You can pull apart the meters. Oh, well, what do we do for parts? And this is all, parts to replace. And I have a bunch of tuning rings, if you want to buy tuning rings, maybe I'll.
So how did
Well, how
you
about
get
the
payroll
other
done
ones?
today?
Well, we'll bring some parts up.
Oh, really? I haven't done mine yet.
I kicked everybody out. Don't bother.
And then I was actually talking to campus, he just decided to go like that.
Everybody out at 5. We work like 5 right now. We know
If that is a real bad day in, day out, it's fine.
In the back, she'll tell the trip.
I just didn't do it. So then I'm like, mine's.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll do it tomorrow.
I just don't know. You'll talk to Jake or Mike or whatever, you, they'll talk to us, you know, say it's. And then,
Yesterday on our.
half an hour later, you'll get a phone call back and they'll give you a name, it'll be a pitch.
Blue going around our building. So then.
Yeah.
Nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Our one tank was cast on, he was going to the doctor
I
again.
thought that was, you know, I don't know, I think that's a good tractor.
There's been nobody.
There were.
Did somebody
The
shut
two
this
parts
off?
People and the receptionist logged in, that was it.
Well, I don't know if it's still on record. How do we shut it off? Did somebody read this? I honestly can't read that. No, I just read
Pull the plug.
Well, have some.
About 4 or 5.